Hello, folks. Happy Saturday. On the stream a little bit early. Hope that's okay with you. Because it's okay with me. Sorry about the short notice, but sometimes it's real great to schedule lives for a few days in the future, and then sometimes when you get the vibe, when you get that positive energy to share exciting news and information, it's like, look, let me just go live and say hi to you guys and share some cool stuff. So please bear with me. I'd love to start at 3 p.m. Bermuda time. We've got about 3 more minutes to go. So yeah, thank you for hanging out. What we can do over the next couple of minutes is just share with me where you are, where you're from, what brings you to this live stream, how the audio and video sounds, all that cliche live streaming business. We'll get that cracking. Just going to make some adjustments. All right, now that's cool. So not on not going to sort of simulcast to Instagram today. I want to do some screen sharing. And yeah, I just want to interact with you guys on Facebook today for the next, I normally say like, let's go live for 30 minutes, and then it turns into an hour, or 20 minutes and it turns into 2 hours. So we're going to go with the flow, and I'm going to keep it simple, but to the point. This is the second time I've gone live specifically to talk about the Lionfish Grand Prix, and I did digress quite a bit, given a bunch of historical context, which for some of you guys might be super helpful if you're new to the scene. But if you've been around, you're a Bermuda color and you've been around for a long time, it's public information, public knowledge. Yeah, so let's just wait for the tippy top of the hour, start on time, and I'm just going to queue up the screen sharing pieces. And we are all these screens. Again, guys, thank you so much for jumping on the live. If you're watching this live, hello. Happy Saturday from Bermuda. If you're watching this on the replay, hey, thank you for jumping on, checking us out. Yeah. 2:59. Yeah, lots of big news today for everyone in and connected to the US, but yeah, let's stick to the topic. All right. Hello, and thanks again for jumping on this live stream. However you managed to get here, thank you so much for tuning in. You could be anywhere right now, but you're locked in with me for the next half hour or so. What I'm going to do is give you a overview. So yeah, in this stream, I'm going to talk about the Lionfish Grand Prix, specifically the November 2020 Bermuda Lionfish Grand Prix. I'm going to cover the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I'm also going to set up an account from scratch just to show you guys how easy it is to register and participate in this event. So unlike any other event that I've been involved with, either in Bermuda or in the region, what makes this whole LFGP series thing unique is that it uses a web portal, a tournament web portal and app that you can load on any smartphone. So just to rewind real quick. So Guardians of the Reef, the sort of passion project / NGO that I established almost 10 years ago, presents the November 2020 Bermuda Lionfish Grand Prix. So this event runs all month long. Registration is free. It's all online on your smartphone or in the app. Individual anglers and teams are allowed, which is pretty wicked. Right now we have 10 categories, but we can always add more at our discretion. And those categories are most lionfish. We have prizes for first, second, and third. We have as a team, and then we have most lionfish as an individual, first, second, and third, and then we have the largest lionfish. You need to keep that completely intact so that we can have our scientists measure it to verify. We also are giving one prize and one other prize for the smallest lionfish. So shout out to Quay Sean. I believe he said, like, if it's 4 inches and under, keep it. Put it in the freezer and keep it. But anything bigger than 4 inches would not be considered to be the smallest, really. Just if it's tiny, put it in the freezer. So it's one prize for that. And then we have some pretty fun stuff. The best team photo gets a prize, just one prize, and the best individual photo gets a prize too. 10 categories. We might leave it at that. We might expand. But one pretty cool little caveat that we might overlook from time to time is that you get to keep what you catch. So in the past, I've been involved with different tournaments where everyone's catch is pooled and cooked for public consumption. And that is phenomenal for outreach. A lot of people that come to these events in person, and usually it's a big party. Everybody comes together and, we want to eat them to beat them. And what we want is people that haven't tried lionfish to try lionfish. So there's a ton of positivity by pooling everyone's catch and cooking it, having a chef cook it up and serve it to everybody. That way everyone gets a taste of it, because lionfish is, at least in Bermuda, is hard to find. You can't just go anywhere and get a 5-pound bag of lionfish fillet and go home and cook it up yourself. The demand is super, super high. The supply is not that fantastic. So that's a cool thing. However, the framework of this tournament and other tournaments that I've held is that you actually get to keep what you catch. And there's some benefit to that, especially for the avid cullers that have vendor permits. It's a win-win, because you can catch what you catch, log it in the tournament, win prizes, hopefully, and then you can sell your catch, right? So it's a win-win. You get to keep what you catch. All participants will get a prize as well, you guys. It'll be something small, but I want to recognize everybody that participates. So everyone that participates does get a prize. And then there's the dynamic leaderboard, where of course it's all app driven. It's all through the web portal. So at any time, anybody, whether you're participating or not, is able to log on to the Lionfish Grand Prix tournament page and see the leaderboard. All right, so that's pretty big, and we're going to look at that in a second when I share the screen. So what I want to do before going on any further, we are 9 minutes into the stream. I want to recognize our sponsors and supporting partners. I'll just look at the list here. We've got Dive Bermuda at Grotto Bay, Dive Bermuda at Fairmont, Southampton, Blue Water Divers, Conyers Imports, Uber Vita, Atlantic Mooring Maintenance Limited, Blue Shark, Satronics Enterprises Limited, Honda Marine, Bermuda Water Sports, and then Guardians of the Reef, right? The organization that's making all this happen, which is me and my small team. Shout out to me and my small team for taking up the mantle and putting this together. The community has been asking for events for a long time, consistent events, and various people have over the years come to the wicket and done our best to do this for the community. So it's a privilege and an honor. And but like, I can speak for everybody that's hosted events before in Bermuda and across the region. We do this for you guys. We do this for the anglers, the avid callers, the diehards that take their dive gear and spears to work and hit the reef right away after finishing a long day, or booking their entire weekend to get on the reef and defend it from the invasive alien lionfish. So shout out to all you guys, wherever you might be. But what I want to do as well is recognize all of our participants so far. And I'm just going to name off the teams real quick in order. All right. So it is a Grand Prix. The race is on. In first place, Grim Reefers with 28 lionfish so far. This is day 7. All right. 7 days into this month-long event, the Grim Reefers are in first place with 28 lionfish. Sexy Reef Ambassadors are in second place with 8 lionfish pulled off the reef. In third place, we have the One Breath Alliance. And tied for fourth, we've got my buddy Keenan White, my ace girl Whitney Butterfield, Team Unstung, my buddy Bob Kennedy, Team Lit Divers, Team Lionfish Grand, and then Ziggy Stardust, which is a test account that I use. Shout out to David Bowie, the late great. Met him here in Bermuda when, a long time ago. He was recording an album. Yeah, that's a whole other story. And then on our spare time. So shout out to all you guys, all the teams that have registered for this event so far. 11 teams, 24 anglers, 11 logged culling events. And it's got that there's 2 new ones. So I got to go into the back end and see what that's all about. But what I'm going to do right now is share my screen. So I want to make sure I share the right one. Share screen, that one, share. See how this looks. Oh, that is not nice. Why is that doing that? All right, that is better. All right, so all's going well. You should be able to see my screen and not see me. And you should see the iAngler tournament page. Yeah, of course you do. So this is what you see when you visit the tournament page on ianglertournament.com. You're not a registered angler. You're just checking out the page. So you're able to, and this is publicly viewable, check out the leaderboard. There's all the teams I just mentioned, as well as our Rockstar sponsors. We've got, let's just click back on tournament here. We've got that information there, which is pretty wicked. And then we've got the details about the tournament. So you've got my name and contact information. You've got the cost to enter the tournament. So we could price this, but we're keeping it free for you guys because you're doing all the hard work, right? Like you're getting out on the reef, you're free diving, you're scuba diving, you're handling an invasive species covered in 18 venomous spines. We're going to make the prizes awesome, and I haven't announced what the prizes are yet, but they are going to be well worth your effort, you guys. But to charge you guys, that just doesn't seem right. We've got our sponsors covering that. So yeah, the race is on. Again, runs all week. Those are the prize categories. Sorry, all month. Those are the prize categories. So we have a little module here for announcements. We've then got the events and schedule. So I populate these as things go on. This is a module that just pulls from our Facebook page. And then we've got a gallery that I'm going to populate over the next, between now and the end of the tournament of the photographs that our anglers have put into the system, because to submit your catch, we ask for a photo of your catch and hopefully like a photo of you and your catch so you can just verify this is honor based, right? So we want to verify that it's you in the picture that caught them. And every catch log that's submitted, we vet that first. So we just kind of look at it and just say like, hey, how you catch 20 lionfish yesterday? It was 40 knots, like you didn't get out yesterday. So yeah, and then crew, myself as an event director, as well as the founder of this platform, Michael Christopher, who's a director too. And then last but certainly not least, our sponsors. But what's super important is as well, all of that are the rules and regulations, and then the disclaimer. But what I want to talk about real quick with respect to this tournament and specifically our rules and regulations is that there's a 2-step process in entering your catch logs into the system in order to qualify. Really, you have to be a Bermuda line. You have to have your Bermuda lionfish culling permit, and that checks a lot of boxes. But just by having that, you've taken the class, you've paid your fee, you've got your individually unique numbered tag, you've got your flag, and you've got the paperwork and the knowledge of like where you can and cannot go and what you can and cannot do and all that stuff. But what happens is, in order for this to work, I had a wonderful conversation with my colleagues at the Department of Environment and Natural Resources and got the blessing to run this tournament, with the caveat that you have to submit your catch into the government-run system first at lionfish.bm. And that's 100% fine. Why? I think that's 100% fine because we got to do that to make this happen, number one. But number two is that we then know as event directors that, everything, like we know who you are and we can always cross check and everything's kind of above board, right? And legit, right? So you go out, let's say you go out today, and I know it's a little bumpy from the east, but you go out today, you catch 4 lionfish, go to lionfish.bm, report your catch there first. You get a catch number. So when you submit your catch into the Grand LFGP platform, you put your color number, your unique color number. So I'm like 0045 or something like that. And then I put my unique catch number in there as well. And it's every time you log a catch in the government system, you get a catch number in your email. So do that over there. come over here, put that information in. We don't ask you for a whole lot of info. The most valuable thing for us is really just the picture. And we can determine from that what the quantity is. But then below that, we ask for quantity, and you can put length if you want as well. You submit that as a catch log. It bumps to the back end. It doesn't go live immediately. And an event director just quickly vets that and approves it. And once it's approved, it jumps to the leaderboard. If it's rejected, it's normally rejected for good reason. I've had to reject just a handful of logs where information was missing. The picture didn't look quite right, or it's just something just didn't seem a little bit accurate. But that wasn't due to like someone trying to finagle the system. It was missing a field. You trying to enter the data using the smartphone and just skipping a field, not actually thumbing down. I don't know what the app looks like on an iPhone. I'm an Android guy. On Android, it looks pretty good, but you have to be aware of how you scroll. I find I have to turn my phone horizontal to kind of get the full view of things, but that's not a deal breaker by any means. It just means that on a PC, it just happens to look a bit better. So here's what I'm going to do. And yeah, we're 17 minutes into the stream. That's not too bad. Just keeping an eye on the time, because I tend to just talk a lot, and then it turns into this thing, and I look, it's like an hour and a half into the stream. So let's pretend that we want to register as an individual angler and join the effort. So we just visit the page. And there's a few different ways you can get her. You can go to lionfishgrandprix.com, which will shoot you to Facebook, which will then shoot you over to the events. And then we had to actually break up. Let's just see what all that does. Click that. Let's see what it does live. So it takes you over to our Facebook page, and yep, that's what's happening now. We're live right now. And there's Natalie and a couple. Oh, I haven't signed in. Okay, it's not gonna let me do that. Okay. So what we had to do is, if I go to events, I really hope it doesn't make me log in. I'm using Microsoft Edge because I want it to be clean. I use Google 99.9% of the time, but for this, I wanted to go in clean, no cookies, no nothing. And who uses Edge, right? So because this event runs for 1 month, that's of course 4 weeks. Facebook does not let you put in one event for 30 days. Actually, their limit is 2 weeks. So what I had to do is break it up into 2. So right now we're in, bring it up. So November 2020, Bermuda LFGP Grand Prix, the first half of the month. And then you see the join event button here. So that's kind of how you get to it. Or on Instagram at Lionfish Grand Prix. The link is in the bio. It's not too difficult to get here. ianglertournament.com/node/4020. And there's a longer URL as well. Don't worry about that. But finding this portal shouldn't be all that difficult. So what I want to do, I just want to register as an individual. And again, guys, if you have any questions, please shoot them over to me. Let me know. Let me just check, because the comments are, they aggregate in StreamYard, but it's always good to make sure. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you for checking in on the replay. So yeah, let's register as an individual. So it immediately tells us like access is denied, because there's 2 things that I have to do. I have to create a profile in the platform, create a profile in ianglertournament.com. The reason you want to do this is because once you create a profile in ianglertournament.com, you can then participate in any tournament that the platform offers, provided you're where the tournament is happening. And certainly this is our first, but far from our last tournament using iAngler. So what it's saying now is like, you need to log in first or create a new account in order to register for the tournament. So we're going to create a new account. So from here, I'm going to put testing, right? So just let's do first, Sam Smith. So I'm going to set up just a test account. I'm going to call it Sam Smith. My username. So the thing with iAngler is that, how some platforms, your username is your email address. What you're allowed to do here is make a username and email address separate, because let's say you have a really long email address and you want to sign into iAngler with like a short super short username so that it's easier to log in on your smartphone, mobile device, or in the portal on your computer, you can do that. So for my username, I'm just going to put SamBDA, and my email address is going to be lionfish@weldonwade.com, and my password, let me see. Match, yes. I'm going to put my number. My number is on the thing, so it's public. I don't care. Give me a call. So acceptance. This is the terms and conditions and the privacy policy. And I am not a robot. So, palm tree. What's a palm tree? Okay, there's a palm tree there. It's a palm tree there. That looks like a palm tree. Let's verify. Cool. So first name, last name, username, SamBDA, and that's my test email address. So create new account. Oh, goodness, I didn't check that. Oh no. Motorcycles. You. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, this is live, you guys. I mean, it's cars. Okay. See if we get past this here. Create a new account. Okay, that looks clean. I didn't mean to uncheck that, but that's cool. Huh? Oh no. Okay, password field required. Not a robot. No, stairs. You. Cool. I was gonna pre-record this. I said, "Nah, let me do it live." And yeah, it's all good. So I can update my profile. I can add a profile picture. I can add affiliations if I have sponsors. Like it can get pretty deep, you guys. But what I got to do now is now that I have a profile in iAngler, I'm gonna go to upcoming because now I need to find the lionfish tournament again. So if you can't really find it quickly in this list, you then go lionfish and then search. And there it is. Okay. So then once you create your profile, find the tournament. And now that I'm logged in, you can see I'm logged in as Sam. I can register as an individual. Okay. All right. So provide information. It's got my email address. It's got my name. It's got the cost, number of anglers. Thank you for creating an accountable platform. And note that every angler participates. You have to have your Bermuda lionfish calling permit. And this just talks about the double entry, right? You get your LRN and you have to add that into your catch logs when you're submitting your catch. So you have to accept the terms and conditions. You have to agree to the rules and regulations, and you have to understand and have agreed to the disclaimer. And that's all what we checked out before. Where is it to? Yeah, it's done. Well, you can click it in. So let's do next. Since it's a free tournament, the system knows that, so it doesn't go through the whole payment processing piece. And then boom, we're in. So we're registered. The system will send an email to you just thanking you for signing up. And that's really it. What we can do now is go to the tournament page. And now here's the fun part. Here is where we've been out on the reef. We're back. We've got 4 lionfish in our cooler, and we want to report these lionfish, right? So I would go over to lionfish.bm, do the reporting first. When that is done, and I've got my email from lionfish.bm with my lionfish reporting number, come over to iAngler tournament and find the log catch button. Click on log catch. And yeah, so we've tweaked it to have just lionfish there by default. We can do Latin long if you've got that. We can choose on the map. Let's just imagine that we went in Lionfish Alley. Lambton Hill. Let's say we went John Smith's Bay. How tricky is it to watch a park? Gravelli. What? Let's just stick a pin. Right. Yeah, John Smith's bad. Stick a pin. Right. No, you have to move the pin. You have to move the pin. Click and drag and move the pin. Yeah. I remember. Otherwise, the map gets all confused. Like, so we went to the wind. Oh, there's an easterly wind, right? So let's say we went, yeah. Let's say done. Okay. And this should be lionfish, and then this would be lionfish, and then picture, we would pick a picture, and then here, because for demonstration purposes, we caught 4. Let's add another, and then we would browse for a picture, attach that, and our permit number for me, I'm 0045, and my LRN, my report number from government, will be something like, I don't know, 5414. And then I'd add some comments. Let's say, for example, I don't know. What would a comment be? Oh. It was cool today, man. And what we would do from here is submit for evaluation. You can also save this draft if you want to come back later. This is pretty valuable if, for example, we were to ask you for a lot more information like length, weight, stomach contents, where did you catch it? How deep did you go? Like logging each dive, logging each lionfish. And that's something that could happen in the future. But I really don't want to ask you guys for a whole ton of information. You know what I mean? Like I want to keep it simple, groovy. So wrong side. So that's what's up. Like that's how you report catch into the LFGP system. And once you click on submit for evaluation, it shoots over to the back end. I get a notification in the platform, or I can approve, reject, add comments, edit. So sometimes, let's say, for example, in haste, your hands are a little cold and salty, and in the app on your phone, you add a 5th fish when you caught 4. You can add a comment, added an extra fish in error, or something along those lines. I can actually edit that and shoot you an email, and that's how that goes. It's really, really smooth. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. Really. What does weather do? Like I haven't really poked around. Let's say save as draft. And while that's thinking, yeah. So I'm just really excited about this event, and I've got a lot of surprises in the works for you guys, because I mean it's pretty wild thinking about all this, because Michael and I have been working on modifying the platform for, I want to say, 2 years, 2.5 years. So it's just really phenomenal that timing wise, right, that we're living through a pandemic. We want to do stuff, but we can't really have the human interaction. Everything's jumping online, and to be in a position to then launch a lionfish tournament series that has an online platform and it has a smartphone app that was pretty much ready to go. It was actually quite easy to stand this up for you guys. And I'm just trying to get back to the page. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen again. I'm still logged in as Sam. I should be able to view my catch logs and check out pictures. Those are the pictures. These are the photographs that have been submitted in the system so far. So it's wicked. Able to see pictures from the competition. I think this is from yesterday from Chris. So check that out. That's cool. Guys are racking them up out here, you guys. So this is by Chris Cabral, November 7th. A bunch. Natalie doing her thing with the rainbow in the back. Awesome. Little party. Natalie again with 3. Natalie here. Yeah. So that's cool. And then of course our leaderboard. We can see what's going on, and there's our test user at the bottom, Sam Smith. So I'll just probably log some test fish in there for Sam, kind of get him up the leaderboard a little bit, and then get him out of the system, not to cause any confusion. But that's all I got for you guys today. The race is on November 7th, day 7 of the November 2020 Bermuda Lionfish Grand Prix, brought to you by Guardians of the Reef and all the sponsors and supporting partners, which makes this whole thing possible. If you're interested in being a sponsor or supporting partner, please shoot me an email, jump in my DMs. If you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. I'm here for you guys. This was built, by divers, for divers, by colors, for colors. And when I come into stuff like this, it's always, I always frame it as if, this is something that I would definitely want to participate in. I try to look out for just, the best interests of everybody involved. Make it fair, keep it fun, keep it safe. And on the next live, I will be talking about my top 10 dive spots to call lionfish. I'll also talk about my top 10 tips for culling lionfish, lessons I've learned over the past 10 years or so doing all this stuff. So definitely look out for that. And yeah, follow Lionfish Grand Prix on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I mean, we're all across social. We're not jumping on TikTok. We're going to just leave that alone. But certainly Instagram is a place to be, and Facebook as well. Look out for the lives. I may give more notice. I may not. But either way, you can check these out on the replay. I will not take this down. Yeah, let's go back to Facebook. So yeah, click on join event when you find us on Facebook. And just a little bit more of forward thinking. Be on the lookout, like, for future events. I've got some pretty cool surprises in the works. This LFGP tournament series is expanding beyond Bermuda. I'm happy to report. I'll be happier when I can make it official and launch it and announce it. It's going to be wicked. And then in the new year, we're going to do something even more awesome. So all I got to say is, if you are a lionfish color in Bermuda, get your gear out, get ready. Let me do something real quick before I let you guys go. So for the benefit of, let's just share the screen real quick. Yeah. Let's go full screen. So weather.bm. Boom, boom, boom. Today, 77 degrees. That's sort of what our weather looks like today. Let's go to marine, and then we see the sea surface temperature. So it's 74.5 degrees Fahrenheit in Bermuda. We've got an east-northeasterly breeze, 12 to 18 knots, little choppy. So this is, and I can talk about this as well, like in terms of like tools that I use to determine where where to dive and where not to dive. Certainly weather.bm is one tool. But for the benefit of you guys that want to have a bit more information on conditions, it's best to, let me see how it works. Let me see. Yeah, jump over to Winguru. It's one of probably, I mean, between weather.bm and Winguru, these are probably 5 different tools we would use to figure out, okay, where are we going to go and what are we going to do? So certainly Winguru, if you compare the two, this gives you this, whereas Winguru gives you this. And let me zoom in. We got 2-hour snapshots, and this is forecast modeling, right? So it's not going to be exactly what it is. It's all modeling, but it's advanced modeling, so we can see wind speed, gusts. You can change it from knots to miles per hour or kilometers per hour if that's what you're feeling. Direction is important. The wave in meters or feet is important. What did I do with that? Let's go to feet. Wave height, wave period, wave direction. All this is important. But what's also important is the wave direction, swell height, swell period, swell direction as well. And you've got these data sets to look at, and you just sort of use your wisdom to figure out, okay, cool. Do we go east? Do we go south? Do we go north? Do we go for lionfish today? Do we go for lobsters today? Do we stay home today? Do we go to the caves? Do we go to the spa? Do we, go to the movies? Moving Guru is certainly one of the better tools to use to determine all that stuff. And then what's important now for a lot of divers, free divers and scuba divers, is it gets dark early. So you got to be comfortable with your, be comfortable diving in the dark, which not a lot of people are comfortable with. And, then you got to have, you want to have your lights, you want to have your glow sticks, and you just want to be safe, right? So you can imagine Monday through Friday, you work your 9 to 5, your 8 to 4, I think 5:45 now it gets dark. So diving after work is a little sticky. If once the sun goes down, you get a little bit nervous. I love night diving. I love night scuba diving. I love night free diving. A lot of guys won't dabble in night free diving, but I do. Nothing has happened to sort of dissuade me from doing that yet. Hopefully nothing happens that does. But that's all I really want to share with you guys today, day 7 of the November 2020 Bermuda Lionfish Grand Prix. I can't wait to pull the photos from the system and blast those across social. Shout out again to all of our sponsors, all of our supporting partners, and all of our participants, both our teams and our individual anglers that are getting out on the reef safely and removing this invasive alien species from our reef. I know lionfish are pretty. I had 2 small ones one time. Pretty fish, but they're invasive. They're covered in 18 venomous spines, and they eat anything and everything they can find. They did not evolve over here in this part of the world naturally. Little fish and little crustaceans don't recognize them as a predator, so they just get eaten. So what we're doing, what we feel is right, is just keeping their numbers as low as we can, keeping their numbers in check. And the good thing about the lionfish is that they are edible. So we have an aggressive eat 'em to beat 'em campaign. You spear the lionfish, cut off all the venomous spines, and the fish is just like any other fish. It's got eyes, it's got scales, it's got gills, and it eats things that are alive. So it's not like a bottom feeding fish in the sense of it doesn't eat dead stuff. Everything that I'm aware of that a lionfish consumes is alive and twitching. The meat is very light, white. It's high in omega-3, 3 and 6 fatty acids, and it's nice to cook. I tend to just take the sides off the fish and pan fry it on a little bit of EVO, a little bit of fresh garlic, butter, and just cook each side for just a couple of minutes. Don't overcook it, just a couple of minutes on each side, and then just little salt, pepper, paprika, dust it over, and boom, that's it. A little bit of lemon maybe. Add that. Right now we're in lobster season, so just add lobster tail on the plate next to that. Maybe a little bit of potato salad, mac and cheese salad, or asparagus, a little glass of wine, and you're good to go. Yeah, sweet potato. And maybe, if you're feeling creative, and sometimes I feel creative, is create my what is it? My panko crusted lionfish with mango curry sauce. I used to make that. Yeah, I used to have some lionfish, parties at the house. I just cook it up and make it real tasty. Anyway, I digress. That's how I go. That's why I say if I don't limit myself, I can be on the stream all day. So I'm gonna punch out you guys. Calls to action. They say end alive with a call to action. Follow us on at Lionfish Grand Prix on Instagram. Follow Lionfish Grand Prix on Facebook. Hit the link in our bio on Instagram to see not just the registration page, but a bunch of other stuff like we're spotlighting Jamaica, Cayman, Bahamas, just pulling content from the web that I think you might find interesting. Head over to lionfish.bm for more information about the Bermuda Lionfish Calling Program. And yeah, find the iAngler tournament page for the LFGP. Scroll down the bottom and check out the links to all of our sponsors. A couple of them have some promotions going on, which is really exciting as well. So yes, that is it. And I'll go live as soon as I feel like going live again. And yeah, to my peeps in Bermuda. So Wednesday is a holiday, November 11th, Remembrance Day. So in the weather, I'm gonna dive. Let me check this out. I mean, this is diveable, right? Like, yeah, it is. I mean, gotta check this out. Let me see. Where's this swell? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say nothing, because maybe I want to enter the competition too, and I can't give out all my secrets. But if you see Ziggy Stardust slowly climbing up the ladder, that's that might be me. I don't know. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're watching this on the replay, I hope your day is going great. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me for the last 42 minutes. See you again soon. All right. Bye.